Hey, I'm not MAGA, don't scroll, and today we're talking about these things. This will serve as video 3 in my left side prepping series, and I had originally intended to do this video much later in the series. I was going to talk about prepping for your pets today. I'll get to that later, but upon special request and given the state of the world right now, we're going to do this video much sooner, and I'm going to be explaining things from scratch as if I'm talking to people that have never even considered picking one up in the first place. So I will give as much information as I possibly can, and anybody in the comments that also has experience, because a lot of people on our side don't, feel free to chime in, help people in the comments, add whatever productive things that you have that I might overlook or miss, because our goal here is to help everybody get as prepared as we possibly can. So the first step is, how do you obtain one? Most sporting goods stores and specific pew stores and pawn shops all have them, all have great selections. For your first one, I would recommend going to a regular pew store or a sporting goods specific store and save the pawn shop for later after, you've gained a little bit more information and understanding and comfortability with everything. But they are a great option for later because they're inexpensive and, they still work. They're still doing their thing. So the first step is going to be going in and making your selection, which we'll talk about selection here in a second. But once you've made your selection, the actual process of getting it is going to consist of you handing over your government-issued ID. You're going to need, a state-issued identification card, a passport, a real ID, something that is a specific government-issued ID. Military ID if you have it, but if you have a military ID, you're probably not in need of this video right here. And so you're going to give over a copy of your ID. They're going to do a copy of it. You're going to fill out a form, and then you're going to give, a thumbprint of each thumb onto a form, and then they're just going to run it through the FBI database, do a background check on you. And this can take anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 months, depending on how backed up the queue is and processing, and if you have any particular hangups on your record, anything like that, then obviously it's not going to go through. And if you're a felon or something along those lines, please don't even attempt to go do this, right? Make sure in advance that you don't have those restrictive factors. But it's really just as simple as going in and filling out a piece of paper, and the people at the store are very versed in doing this. They will help you fill out the form. They help everybody to make sure that it's actually going to go smoothly, because that's part of their job. So don't be embarrassed about, asking for help, questions, things like that. Most of the time they're going to sit there and fill it out right there with you. And then you're going to give your thumbprints, copy of your ID, and then it's going to go into processing. All right, it's actually a pretty simple process. It all takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get it started, and then of course there's the waiting period of however long it takes to process. Now, when we're talking about actual selection, we're going to want to start with something handheld. All right, something that's not that intimidating, something that's small and manageable for people that, might be overwhelmed. You're not going to want to jump right to something large. You're not going to want to go for, the big dogs right off the bat. Something small and manageable. It is important to not just look and think, oh, that looks cool, or it looks pretty, or it looks badass, or, whatever perspective you're looking from. Handle them, right? I recommend something that is 9 or greater, but 9 is a great range to be in because they make them very small, lightweight, compact. Ammunition is incredibly available and affordable, and it has enough stopping power to do things without it being, so big that it's going to be harder for people with smaller hands to handle. And now, that said, price is obviously going to be a factor. Whatever you can afford. I mean, that's really it. And the most expensive isn't always the best. The most important thing is to find something that you are comfortable with, right? Something that fits your hands. I have catcher's mitts, right? I'm not going to be picking up an LC. It's just not going to happen. It's not practical. But someone with smaller hands, an LC might be great. And that stands for lightweight, compact. Look at them. Hey, here's all of the things that they have in 9. Let me handle that. Let me handle that. Let me handle that. Pick them up. Handle them. Feel it in your hand. Feel the grip. Make sure that it's actually something that you're going to be comfortable holding in your hands, because I know for a lot of you, this is already an uncomfortable situation. So make sure that your grip is in comfort there. And then once you've made that selection, you're going to go through the paperwork process. You're going to get it. At the same time you get it, all right, make sure that you get a safe or a locking mechanism, because we are responsible pew pew owners, right? A safe or a locking mechanism at the exact same time of purchase, so you always have one and the other together. You're always going to be able to secure it and make it safe. Also, pick up ammunition. You don't need the most expensive thing, because right off the bat, you're going to be practicing. Something on the cheaper side is just fine for ammunition to start out with. And then once you have obtained it, and even before you've obtained it, even in anticipation of obtaining it, you are going to sign up for a safety class. And unfortunately, it's probably going to be run by someone on the right. Get over it. It is more important for you to go in and get hands-on training. They will teach you how to load it, how to operate it, everything that you need to know, and all of the safe procedures that you need to know. And they'll actually get you, onto a range, typically speaking, so that you get, real life experience for your first time with an actual instructor who is very experienced right there helping you through the process. And, I've been to them with my wife. And so I know, it will be hands-on. You will know exactly what you're doing when you leave there, right? Sign up for as many classes as you can. Start out with basic, move to advance, right? This is how we deal with things over here on the left, is we educate ourselves with things that we're unfamiliar with until we become familiar with them. So educate yourself. Absolutely. You should also become very familiar and comfortable with just handling it. Take it out, hold it until you're comfortable with it. All right. That counts for everything, because if you're not comfortable pulling it out, holding it, pointing it, using it, you might as well not even have it, and you are actually a danger to other people if you don't get that familiarity and even confidence with it. That is what we are going for, is confidence here. And so after you've done your classes, you're going to go out and you're going to practice. All right, you're going to go, ranges are usually cheap to get into. You can get a membership, you could pay a day pass, whatever it is. We've got places around here that are $5. You go out for the whole day, or you can get a whole year membership for $100. But you're going to go and you're going to practice, and you're going to practice, and you're going to practice, and you're going to take the skills that you learn from those classes and you're going to apply them until you are confident. You're going to get yourself a cleaning kit. Also, you're going to watch some videos on YouTube, because we can't do them here, on how to disassemble and clean them. And through that process of educating yourself, of learning how to handle it, learning the safety things, and doing those classes, and learning how to take it apart and how it works and everything else, all of those steps build confidence. That is the most important thing. So hopefully this has helped. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions or if I missed anything, but those are the very basics right there. And later on we can talk about, moving up along to other things.